John, welcome to another edition of the CEO's blog. We've had a busy weekend with TAB Carnival of Cups in Wagga on Saturday and then up at Inverell on Sunday.
Yeah, two fantastic meetings. Inverell a little bit marred by some overnight rain, but at least it kept the dust down on the track, but a great meeting there. And for Wagga, it was more than likely the last Wagga Cup to be conducted at the showgrounds there at Wagga, and of course we've seen some great racing. They do a great job down there in Wagga. They organised a very good crowd, and it was fantastic to really see Chris and Anthony Frisbee take out 3 events. But Brucey Harpley won 2, and Brad Hewitt's horse, our triple play, of course, he won the cup. And I think that is now 6 major races he's won around the state and 6 track records. So that's what the TAB Carnival Cups is all about, bringing the best out and put them on display.
Yeah, what a way to finish that last Wagga Cup at that showground. Well, the TAB Carnival of Cups moves to Armidale this weekend.
Armidale and Young.
Young.
Our triple play will be in there as well, trying to set another track record, of course. But strong meetings at both tracks, 9 races. These type of meetings, as I said, bring out the best horses, and everybody wants to become involved. The prize money, of course, is increased. And that's what makes them also very special. Yeah,
Young's a very competitive meeting. I think last year Brad Hewitt trained 4 winners.
Yeah, well, maybe following him again this year.
Yeah, okay, very good. All right, let's talk about the Bathurst Gold Crown. It's soon approaching, March 23 when the heats kick off.
Yeah, and what we've got to remember here, it's condensed somewhat, the carnival. In the fillies heats, the Tiara heats are on the Friday night, and the Colts heats, the Gold Crown, are on the Saturday night, and then we move through to the following week. So what we see is there's no racing at Tabcorp Park Menangle. That's just the way it has to be, because we certainly want to showcase our major events, and the Bathurst Gold Crown is one of those iconic events that everybody likes to be involved with, and everybody should, if possible, attend.
Was it like that last year as well, or?
No, not last year.
Yeah.
This is the first year we've introduced it, and of course we believe it will be successful. And the way we do race dates, it will be the same the following year. So yeah, but it's a good meeting. The baby's going around, and there's so much racing just at the moment. Trainers will notice that we're doubling up 2-year-old races at meetings around the state where those nominations are, and to date we'll keep doing that to make sure that horses do get their first race start and therefore are eligible to contest the heats of the Gold Crown.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And do you think the 2-year-old racing calendar has helped with? I saw at Newcastle the other night they had 2 2-year-old races, which is great for this time of year.
It works. There's I think in this particular week there was only 1 2-year-old that actually didn't get a start, and that was due to a first reserve situation, and that's down at Young, because the trainers know where these races are and where to take their horses, and if they follow the conditions closely, they can note that we will divide these races. We'll divide them on sex, or we'll divide them as best we can. So yeah, plenty of racing on for the 2-year-olds. Unfortunately, the Fitzpatrick Memorial scheduled for Menangle this Friday evening didn't attract sufficient nominations, but I'm sure the club will reprogram that when there's an opening somewhere later in the season.
Okay. Let's talk about the Penalty Guidelines Review Panel, a relatively new panel, but they met today here at Harness Racing New South Wales.
Yeah, second meeting, and what this is about is engaging with the horsemen through the UHRA and the rest of the stakeholders through HIRIC, and with Michael Prentice and Grant Adams, just reviewing what our penalty guidelines are. Now, our guidelines are what we use to apply penalties or punishment to those people who are non-compliant, but we must review these all every so often, because we can't just rely on them. And of course we take what the decisions are out of the Racing Appeals Tribunal to look at those guidelines, because it doesn't serve us too well, or participants too well, that we put a punishment on that the Racing Appeals Tribunal is not going to concur with, and reducing it. So it costs a lot of angst for for participants, and certainly a lot of time for Harness Racing New South Wales.
Yeah, well, on that note, John, there's been a lot of conjecture on social media this recently in regards to the Racing Appeals Tribunal and decisions, and just could you explain a bit how the Racing Tribunal Appeals Tribunal works?
Well, yes, again, the Racing Appeals Tribunal is completely away from Harness Racing New South Wales. We have our stewards panel. They use those penalty guidelines, as I just said, and they impose penalties. But every participant has a second right to go somewhere, and they can go to the Racing Appeals Tribunal. As I said, the stewards have to present another case, and the participants again get to present their case. It's called what they call de novo, so it's all brand new again, and we have an independent person, whoever's sitting on the Racing Appeals Tribunal, to look at what they are. Now, the decisions that come out of there we all live with, and we must live with. Now, whether they offer somebody a stay in the proceedings, which is open, or whether they vary the penalty in the long run, that's how the Racing Appeals Tribunal. Yes, people might not agree with that, but it is a very fair system that we all must live with and accept.
Yeah, because it's different here in New South Wales as opposed to other states, how that whole process works?
Absolutely different to other states, and that's well and good for other states. We've got a system that we think is the best system. We have penalties that are far stronger than the other states as well, and we think that's well and good, and then we go back, and that's why we've got the review into the penalty guidelines. We want to make sure that it's fair and it's equitable, and as things change, we can deliver what is the right penalties to those people, if we have to deliver any at all.
Okay, well, we're always learning, aren't we?
We should always be learning.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about Team Teal, New South Wales. We've got off to a great start, and, we're coming towards the end of the campaign now. 73 wins here just in New South Wales alone, and it ends this Sunday.
Ends this Sunday, and I think we've hit, or near enough to hit, $30,000. That's with TAB Corp, of course, towards ovarian cancer research, and it's a very, very worthy cause. And whilst I shouldn't say this, I hope the lady drivers that we have out there can win as many races as possible in these last few days, and we can get that tally up a little bit higher. Of course, we have our two girls down in Tasmania for the inaugural Ladies Drivers Championship, and what the board has made a decision will certainly be contributing to their successes in that championship. And if one of the two of them, Ellen or Amanda, wins, I'm sure we will dig deep for what is a good cause, and that's the ovarian cancer research.
Okay. John, let's talk about Kevin Hipkins. He passed away earlier this week.
Yeah, lovely guy, Kevin. Always look on the bright side of life is the way I see Kevin. He never grumbled. He certainly seen some adversity in his life, especially with his health, but a great guy, wonderful person around the breeding ranks. He was on the committee there for a long time, and it's sad that Kevin's passed on and another one has lost, but on behalf of Harness Racing New South Wales, on behalf of the fraternity, to Kevin's friends and family, our condolences.
Okay. Thank you, John. Is that it for this CEO's blog?
It will be, but there'll be more next week, of course.
We'll look forward to it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Amanda.